117 phase _1 taking the impure mind as the path. Phase 1, taking the impure mind is the path. Then Bodhisattva Mahasattva sovereign faculty displaying all appearances rose from his seat and addressed the Bhagavan as follows: Bhagavan Samantabhadra, King of immutable light, please listen and consider my words. In order to completely liberate all of us constituting this apparitional display of disciples simultaneously in the great expanse of equality of the absolute space of phenomena, please reveal the resultant, unsurpassed jnana of the great perfection. The Bhagavan replied, O you apparitional display of disciples, listen. I do not proclaim this fruitional, unsurpassed jnana of the great perfection upwind of anyone other than those individuals with suitable karma and good fortune, endowed with the combined qualities of sharp faculties, great wisdom, stable faith, the ability to keep the samayas, great enthusiasm, and courage. Why is this? As a result of not practicing the ultimate and yet abandoning the profound truth of cause and effect, sentient beings will experience the great misery of hell. This is why I do not proclaim it. Then Bodhisattva sovereign faculty displaying all appearances replied, O teacher, Bhagavan, we of this apparitional display do not depart from the nature of non-duality, so please reveal the profound and secret unsurpassed jnana. At that time and on that occasion, I heard the following. The Bhagavan of the primordial ground said to the apparitional display of disciples, O apparitional display of disciples, listen without distraction. Without seeking causes or effects elsewhere, identify the agent who roams within the three realms of samsara, and hold fast to the instructions for liberating this being. When he spoke those words, the all-accomplishing faculty of mentation replied, that agent is I. The body and speech that depend on me are mutable. The teacher replied, O faculty of mentation, tell me about your form, shape, and color. Faculty of mentation answered, I am formless emptiness. I definitely transcend shape and color. The Bhagavan asked, O faculty of mentation, what is the origin from which you first arose, the location in which you dwell in the interim, and the destination to which you will finally go? Faculty of mentation replied, I am unarisen emptiness, so there is no origin from which I arose. I am non-local emptiness, so there is no place where I am located. I am unestablished emptiness, so there is no destination to which I will go. Everyone assembled here is none other than I, so may the teacher please reveal the profound instructions for liberating me. The Bhagavan replied, O apparitional display of disciples, listen. Now it is crucial for you to know your own causal characteristics. There are two kinds of paths. Individuals with supreme faculties proceed within themselves by way of direct crossing over, and individuals with middling or inferior faculties proceed gradually, in dependence upon the grounds and paths. To investigate this, first of all merge your mind with empty, external space and remain in meditative equipoise for 20 days. By so doing, individuals of the first type will perceive the originally pure essential nature of the primordial ground with the eye of wisdom, and they will identify this within themselves. Individuals of the latter two types will be tormented by confusion and distress, and since their minds do not seem to merge with space, they will pass the time in fabrications and striving, while becoming caught up in many thoughts. Here is the way for them to enter upon the grounds and paths. They should practice by abiding in consciousness and recognizing the movements of thoughts, as follows, like people watching a show of optical illusions. By meditating diligently with keen enthusiasm, all the subtle and coarse assemblies of thoughts will be calmed in the ocean of the primordial ground. They will abide in a state of unwavering stillness, and there will arise the experience of samatha. At this time there will arise bliss like the warmth of a fire, luminosity like the breaking of dawn, and non-conceptuality like an ocean unmoved by waves. The vivid perception of mindfulness that does not bifurcate stillness and movement in that state is called vipassana. When you have identified samatha as a meditative experience and then naturally sustain it with mindfulness, free of attachment and clinging, the appearances of meditative experiences will naturally vanish, and single-pointed mindfulness will manifest. O apparitional display of disciples, listen. At this time, some people experience a soothing sense of bliss. Others experience wind disorders, such that whatever thoughts come to mind arouse an uncomfortable sensation, as if their heart had been pierced, and sporadic illnesses certainly arise. By placing their hopes in gods, fearing demonic influences, experiencing everyone they see and touch as harmful, and so on, various kinds of harsh experiences definitely arise. Some people remain in a state of blank vacuity, while visions of gods, demons, and varieties of extrasensory perceptions arise for others. For some these are true, while for others they are false, so they are not reliable. If you relish such experiences and go out of your way to cultivate them and cling to them, they will act as a great weight holding you down in samsara and plunging you into the mire of the miserable states of existence. So beware of this. Recognizing meditative experiences for what they are, remain without hope or fear, and sustain the flow of mindfulness. By doing so, these meditative experiences disappear by themselves, coarse thoughts naturally subside, consciousness rests in a spacious and loose state, and without doing anything to modify all the roving thoughts that arise, your consciousness is sealed. This is called self-liberated mindfulness. At this time a strong sense of bliss may arise, and this too can be simply a pitfall. All related illnesses arise from bile, and by recognizing them, they will disperse. If you sustain mindfulness while naturally settling your mind without hopes, fears, craving, or attachment to meditative experiences, these experiences will vanish by themselves. Then, without mindfulness even being aware of itself, as a result of the subtlety of this mode of apprehension, you remain in a wakeful vacuity devoid of roving thoughts, which is the ethically neutral substrate. This is called collapsing into empty mindfulness. At this time the mental affliction of delusion arises, and illnesses from phlegm disorders may arise. By recognizing them, too, as meditative experiences and simply letting them be, without reifying them with hopes and fears, these experiences will naturally vanish. A sense of luminosity will manifest in this vacuity, and with the cessation of roving thoughts, activities and speech will become indistinct and muddled. At this time there is a prominent sense of bliss, luminosity, and non-conceptuality, and indeterminate visions of gods and demons may arise. These are expressions of the luminosity of the substrate consciousness, so this is called self-illuminating mindfulness. Both of these kinds of mindfulness entail views that propel you to rebirth as a god who lacks discernment, so recognize the importance of not becoming constantly absorbed in them. O apparitional display of disciples, listen. These kinds of mindfulness occur when taking the aspects of the mind as the path, but if you get stuck there and regard them as the supreme view and meditation, you will not rise above the states of the three realms of existence. If you get caught up in bliss, this will propel you to rebirth as a god of the desire realm. If you get caught up in luminosity, this will propel you to rebirth as a god of the form realm. And if you get caught up in non-conceptuality, this will propel you to rebirth in the formless realm. All these meditative experiences are not to be blocked, nor are they to be cultivated. They are indispensable, for they arise as portents of the grounds and paths. Moreover, upon recognizing various kinds of illnesses and suffering as meditative experiences of those who have entered the grounds and paths, let them be, without reifying them or trying to alter them. As a result they are released right where they are, like mist disappearing into the sky. In general, all the joys and sorrows of the 6 classes of sentient beings are merely delusive appearances without a single one being truly existent.